In no way will you die a death, for God knows that on whichever day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing the wisdom of the angels. Hence the woman saw that the tree was good for eating, and that it was to be desired to make one wise, and she took of its fruit and gave it to her man who ate it, and the eyes of them both were opened. My psychedelic trip started off with a story that is known in the Bible as Genesis or the Origin. I saw a greenish blur of zeros and ones reminding me of what I have seen in the movie The Matrix. I saw atoms whizzing beside each other. The atoms started moving in a synchronized way and started fusing, forming molecules. These molecules formed the genetic code for the first life forms, single-cell organisms. Next up, God led me through an underwater paradise. His appearance reminded me of Poseidon, god of the sea as depicted in Greek mythology. A coral reef started growing, forming a ribcage. Muscle fiber and blood veins started wrapping themselves around the ribcage. We then entered the bloodstream, where I witnessed viruses. I saw how leukocytes, white blood cells, fought the viruses inside the bloodstream. Subsequently, we entered a machine-like white clinical environment. I saw a system reminding me of how doors are transported in Monsters Inc. However, instead of doors, it was RNA, which proteins were attached to. God nodded towards me and we entered a different part of the factory. This was the part where humans are created. God created every human both equally and carefully. It somehow reminded me of how characters are made in The Sims, but on a more industrial scale. The humans were wrapped in white cocoons. Every design, written in genetic code, could be adjusted to God's insights. The trip went way faster after that. We went into space. The messages from God were now depicted more as pictograms, similar to traffic signs. God showed me that He wants His creations, life, to spread themselves. Spreading life is the work of God. Every creation, including plants and animals, were made by Him. A lot of religions state that man was made as an image of God Himself. I believe that's true. Due to its intelligence, mankind is able to create the most beautiful things with their inner creativity, just like God created life. However, balance has to be sought as all creations are equal. Therefore, it is of uttermost importance to treat all life with respect. In society nowadays, people are suppressed. In some cultures, people wear veils. People are allowed to make that choice. It is, however, very important that women are treated equal to men and should be treated as equals by men. This equality should be universal and not only for women. Nobody should feel inferior. The creation and distribution of life is God's mission. Distributing life can happen in several ways. First of all, by reproduction. I saw a God looking questionable at sexual contacts between people of the same gender or multiple people. Not per se because he had a problem with homo, bi or polysexuality or because he disapproves, but because God finds reproduction important. After all, God created life and loves all His creations, despite sexual orientation. Another way of spreading life is through space travel. God encourages the distribution of life through space travel. By spreading life to other planets, we help God on His mission. However, spreading life should be done securely and diligently. I saw a scenario where our planet was doomed. Everything was grey, grizzled and filled with smoke. God looked very desperately at this scenario. The message was clear. Don't deplete the resources of the planet and strive for durability. Another planet cannot replace Earth. This needs to be taken into account when expanding space travel. Most probably there is life on other planets as well. I did not get a clear image of this. The last message I got from God was about Judgment Day. At the end of life, God makes up the balance of good and evil deeds. What happens exactly after life is unclear to me. I did see someone floating through ice-cold space for eternity. It doesn't matter what religion you choose, as long as you strive to be a good person and to harm or hurt others as little as possible.